Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back into another edition of Jake's Takes. I am your host, Jake Masucci, and today we got another great episode for you. Today it is a draft show day. So we're going to be talking about college basketball prospects. We're going to be talking about the risers and fallers from the past couple weeks. I haven't done a college basketball prospect show in about a month now. So, really focusing on some of the risers and fallers that I've seen, focusing on some prospects I haven't talked about yet. Uh, go through five risers, five fallers. Yeah, and I'm excited to do it. So, without further ado, I'm going to cue the music. All right, let's get right into it. Let's talk about risers and fallers. So let's start with the risers. I think the main riser that everybody needs to talk about and needs to pay attention to is Kingston Flemings. I mean, this guy has been a stud recently. And if you haven't been watching college basketball and you're coming to this podcast to catch up, just listen to these numbers I'm going to tell you here. Like against Arizona State this past Sunday, the 18th. Um, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. It was all over the place, 4 steals. In a monster win against Arizona State. And then they did end up losing this game to Texas Tech. This was actually this past Saturday. So that was the Sunday before against Arizona State. But in this game, he had 42 points. This was full of a day where a million freshmen scored 40 points, and he was sensational in this one. 42 points, 6 assists. Was just all over the place, single-handedly carrying them to try to win that game. Texas Tech was just a little too much. JT Toppin had an unbelievable game in that one. And then against TCU this past Wednesday, that would be yesterday. I'm recording this on Thursday, the 29th, but he had a great game, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and was all over the place in this one as well. The thing with him that's been just so impressive, and I talked about it a little bit last time, but it's his shot making. Like some of the difficulty in the shots that he's taken is just ridiculous. And it's late in games. He's always making plays, especially at the beginning of the year. Now it's just like all the time. And I had questions about his shot, like, okay, will it translate? It's a little bit of a weird release, there's stuff like that. But his athleticism and burst just continues to be like, okay, this is like too much for college defenders to handle. And he's just able to get to his spots super well. So if you're looking at point guards in the NBA draft, it's got to be like, okay, it's Flemings, then everybody else. That's kind of where I'm at, just because I think the athleticism is just too much for anybody to deal with. Um, I'm still concerned about the defense. Like, I really think that Houston team kind of amplifies, like, it makes his defense look a lot better than it actually is. Like, if you're looking at stats, he got 4 steals against Arizona State and 2 steals against Texas Tech. I feel like those are inflated with how Houston plays. They're physical. They always trap on the screens. They're all over the place. They're always near the leading team in the country in steals. So that kind of concerns me when talking about defense moving on to the next level. But I am very excited about Flemings. He's my clear point guard number one right now. And it'll be interesting to see if he can sustain that and stay there. I'm definitely a lot higher than him than I was about a month ago. Okay, Braden Burries is another riser. He talk about a guy that's been hot recently. I mean, let me tell you, it's been something. Against UCF, 18 points. Against Cincinnati, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. West Virginia, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. And then this past game against BYU, he was all over the place, 29 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and 3 steals. And he had the block to win the game pretty much. He's been all over the place recently. Like Arizona just continues to put together win after win after win, which is just, it's really impressive. Like I was talking about him, so when I was looking at him at the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, this guy is like really, really good at defense. He was all over the place. He wanted to guard the best player, and I'm like, all right, like I kind of like this in this guy. And his shot just was not going in to start the year. So I'm like, okay, he's got plays where it could be like, okay, he can be an elite scorer, but he wasn't doing it. So that's why I was like, I still believe in him. I'm not sure where I exactly want him yet. So he's going to be like top 20 guy within those teams, wherever you want to put him. That's kind of where I had him. And now the shot's going in and it just looks gorgeous. He's upped his percentages all over the place. He's averaging now 15.2 points a game, 4.8 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and then 1.6 steals. The steals number is really something that intrigues me because his defense will translate because that Arizona team just goes straight up man to man, and he's been great defensively all year. He's 50% from the field now and 37.2% from three. The 3 point number really skyrocketed, which is huge. Um, the thing is like, he's just got really good footwork. It's been all over the place. His footwork, getting to his spots in the mid-range, getting to his spots in the spot 3. It's just been really, really impressive. I've really liked, what he's been able to do there, and he's also really good with getting downhill and getting to his spots for scoring. So, I think he's a guy that will be able to guard right away and, be able to score as well, that kind of like 3 and D type guy you're looking for. Um, so I think he'll translate right away, and I really think he's a guy that you got to consider. Oh, he might be top 10 with the stuff he's doing. I think that would kind of be his peak, like around there. But he's a guy to definitely watch out for when you're looking at guys that could be sleepers in this class. Okay, Darius Acuff, Arkansas, he's been really, really good recently as well. Just another guy that's really stepped it up. Past couple games against Georgia, he had 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Against South Carolina, you saw 13 assists, 18 points. LSU, he had 31. And then Oklahoma this past Tuesday, 21 points, 9 assists. And Arkansas has been winning. They're ranked number 15 in the country right now, 16-5. Um, yeah, and if you're looking at Acuff's numbers, he's up to 20 points a game. He's shooting 41% from three, 6.3 assists on only 2 turnovers a game. So if you're looking at the numbers, everything's great. It's been good. What I was concerned about at the beginning of the year was like I didn't see him being aggressive. Like I didn't see him being that aggressive force that he was in high school, that he was wherever he went before Arkansas. And I was like, huh, this is interesting. It seems like he's kind of laying back and not being like that guy. And you're seeing him be that guy. It's been a lot better for him. He's scoring more. His passing's really good. And you're seeing Cal be like, okay, we're kind of giving him the keys now, making him the decision maker. And for him, it's just been improvement as a shooter and decision making, kind of what I'm saying. Like the shooting, it wasn't great at the beginning of the year, which was part of the reason I was like, okay, will it be will it be him? Like, will he be able to be that next guy? But the decision making's been a lot better, shooting's been a lot better, and then the pick and roll game has just been so good for him. It's kind of been like, okay, clear out pick and roll for Acuff, try to get Thomas involved a little bit, and figure it out from there. Still, the size is the main question. I think that's part of the reason he's always going to be in that teen type area. Um, but he's just got such great scoring gravity, and the assist to turnover efficiency is awesome. So now if you're a scout, you got to be like, okay, like this guy's legit. He could definitely at worst be a really good guard off our bench. And that's kind of where I'm leaning now, where it's like I kind of had him in the 20s because I was like, what is this guy doing? He's not being aggressive. He's not doing the stuff that I want to see. And now he's definitely jumped into the teens, and I'm starting to take him seriously for sure. So he's been great recently. All right, LeBaron Philon at Alabama. So he he's one of my guys. I have absolutely loved him, and there's been ups and downs throughout the year. He had the one game where he left with cramps, and I was like, oh come on, you know. I don't love it when people leave with cramps. When Mikel Brown did it early in this year, that concerned me a little bit. But with him, like the competitive edge is just it's off the charts, you know? Like, he wants to defend the best player. I remember the beginning of the year with their crazy schedule, he was just going against people, like, and wanted to guard the best guy. He always wanted to guard the best guy. When Braden Smith came to town, he wanted to guard him, was guarding him full court. Braden Smith fried him a little bit, and, that's where I have a little concern with him defensively, but the ability for him to want to take the best guy and to run the offense as much as he does, that's crazy to me, and I really respect that. It's part of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for guys that are super competitive, and he is the definition of that. I really do believe that. He's improving as a shooter, and there's so much to his game. There's a lot of offensive versatility that he has. He's able to get to the mid range. He's able to get downhill all the way to the cup. Um, and you're just seeing him play in more of like an NBA style now because Alabama's going through him. They're going through him. They're like, okay, he's our best guy. We got to get him touches. If you're looking at his numbers recently against Tennessee, he had 26 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Mississippi State, 32 points. Oklahoma, 23 points. And then their most recent game against Missouri, he had 18 points and got to sit early because of their domination of Missouri. I really like him. Again, 22 points a game, 5 assists. He's 51% from the field. And then if you're looking at 3 point numbers this year, he's up to 37% compared to 31.5%. So that is all really good. The thing with him that I'm really interested in is the defense. Like, I like that he wants to guard someone, but in order for him to succeed at the next level, he does have to become a better defender. I got to see him more in the help side. I got to see him more like really like I love that you're guarding one of the best guys, but you got to be able to slow him down too, especially when you get to the NBA, because they're not going to be like, here's the keys. This is your team when you get there. You know, he's got to be able to sit down in a stance and get some stops for the team. So that's something I'm really looking forward to seeing from him when he makes it to the NBA. I'm one of those guys that's higher on him. I have him as a top 10 guy. I've seen him in the teens. I've seen him in the 20s. So for me, I'm a top 10 guy. To be honest, I have Flemings, then him. Like, I really like him that much. So I'm looking forward to seeing where it kind of ends up for him. Okay. Cam Boozer, he's not really a riser because he's always been in that top 3 zone. And I still have him at 3. I had him at 3 before. But I just want to shout out the consistent play because I don't think a lot of people are doing that. You know, they're kind of like, oh, it's just Cam Boozer being Cam Boozer. Well, Cam Boozer being Cam Boozer is really freaking good. Like, he's going to be the player of the year. It's just ridiculous how good some of the stuff he's doing. Against SMU, 18.7 rebounds, 4 assists, all over the place. At Cal, 21 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. Uh, at Stanford, 30 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists. Wake Forest, 32 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Louisville, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and all just dominations. They won all 5 of these games and are sitting at 19-1. I mean, it's just ridiculous how good this guy is. Like, he goes to a team and they automatically win. Um, I mean, it's just he's the highest floor guy you could possibly have in this class, and it's because of his feel, physicality, and then production. And I mean, I talked about it a little bit in the top 10 player poll thing I did in episode 129, but the passing is just awesome too. It's something that you don't expect. It's like, man, this guy's passing, you know, and he's getting people in the right spots, and he's always there and rebounding. He's in the right spots. I mean, NBA ready body, has great processing skills. Like, if you're drafting and you're not sure about Debanza, like, oh, I don't know if he's going to be a good fit, and you're not sure about Peterson, you have injury concern, then just pick Boozer, and it's gonna end up being a good pick. Like, he is just a flat out stud. He's gonna translate to the NBA immediately. I think what a lot of people are seeing and like a little concerned about is like, how much upside does this guy really have? Because he has all the NBA skills right now. And if you have that question about him, then don't overthink it. Like, he's going to be a good pro. He comes from Carlos Boozer is his dad, and Carlos Boozer was a great pro. So looking at it that way, I mean, Cam Boozer is going to be a stud in the NBA. Okay, we're going to take a little break, and then we'll go to the fallers in this class. All right, let's get right back into it. Mikel Brown Jr., first faller. So it's been rough for him recently. Again, he was dealing with some injuries. It was a little bit of a struggle for him. There was a lot of moments where you were like, oh, there's so much to him. And I kind of fell for it at the beginning because I mean, I put him 5. And the reason why I loved him was that Kentucky game at the beginning of the year. He was all over the place, doing things great. And since then, it's just been a little bit of a struggle. If you're going through the last 5 against Arkansas, okay game, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And this was in December. Okay. And then Memphis game, he gets hurt and he sits until January. So he's just come back, his first game back. They beat Virginia Tech. He had 20 points. And then you're asking him to go into a big environment, play at Duke. It's a tough game. And he scores 7 points, and they get absolutely obliterated. Like, we'll talk about it on a college basketball pod probably soon, but it was just a obliteration. And it really makes you have some questions with Louisville. Um, the efficiency has just been a struggle for him. If you're looking at his numbers, he's averaging 16 points a game. He's at 37.3% from the field, 27% from three. It's just not what you want to see. He's 5 assists. His turnovers are starting to really creep up there, 2.6 a game. It's just been tough, and the shot selection hasn't been great. Like, because the shot's just not going in. Like, a lot of people think, oh, this guy's just a like, he's a good shooter. He could be a good shooter, but at some point, the ball really has to go in the hoop, you know? Uh, he's relying heavily on his athleticism, and that really doesn't translate great in the pros. Um, like, he's got good bursts, he's got things that can, really help. But when you're going to the pros, like, it's immediate. Like, you have to be more athletic than everybody else. Like, that's why I'm not really as concerned with Kingston Flemings relying on his athleticism. Also, the ball's going in the hoop for Kingston Flemings. It's not going in the hoop for Mikel Brown, which is just a little concerning. He's still got a lot of upside, and like, I'm excited for him to be an NBA guy, like, when it happens. But the more and more the season's going on, it's just been really tough for him, and I'm a little concerned with the fact that, like, will he be a good fit in the NBA right now? I just don't know. Like, the injury, I feel like, really derailed him. Um, there's just a lot of more concerns I have, and with this class, I don't think there's very much margin for error, which could lead him dropping to late lottery or even out of the lottery at this point. So, a guy that I was super high on starting to fall off, and it's not his fault with injuries, but he does have to get a lot more efficient. Okay, Koa Pete. So he's fallen on a lot of other people's boards. I'm trying to stick with him, but it's been very difficult because he hasn't been playing great ball recently, and Arizona's proving that they can win without him playing good, which is fine. That's fine. You're seeing some good performances. Arizona State game, 24 points, 10 rebounds. Cincinnati, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. West Virginia, 17 points. He didn't really show up in that BYU game. He got in foul trouble, only played 26 minutes. He's been in foul trouble a lot. The main thing that people are really concerned about is the 3-point shooting, which I am too. Like, his shot, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look NBA ready at all, and it's very, very concerning. I talked about his rim protection, how I think that's a really big deal when you're a big coming off the bench and you can't really protect the rim that great. I think that'll be a big deal. I'm telling you, everything else about him is fantastic. He has an unbelievable fadeaway game, mid post game, all of it. He's always in the right spots. He's doing stuff at a really high level. He's always in the right spots to rebound. He's an elite rebounder. And that's why I think in the NBA, like a lot of teams are like, oh, we can use this. And a lot of teams are like, oh, this guy is just not what we need, you know? So it's really interesting where he's going to end up. I think if you're asking who's the most intriguing prospect, I think it's Kobe. I really do because he's a winner. Like his team is 21-0 for gosh sakes. That's just unbelievable. They're one of two undefeated teams left as of Thursday, January 29th. And I I'm really excited to see where he ends up. You know, it's going to be exciting stuff. Okay, let's move to Jaden Quaidens. So for him, it's just been the injuries. He hasn't really played that much. But I'm telling you, like when he did play, it was so awesome. Like the energy level that this guy played with was sensational. I've really almost never seen anything like it. And I could I was like, huh, I wonder how good this guy will be. You know, I wasn't really sure. And then I sat down and I watched the St. John's game, and the energy level that this guy played with was crazy. I mean, crazy. He was all over the place, super athletic and blocked shots. Just awesome. 2 blocks, 8 rebounds, 10 points. It was fantastic. And he continued playing with that energy level throughout when he was healthy. You know, he played the next game against Bellarmine and then sat for a little while, played against Alabama, played against Missouri, and now he's sitting for a while. So the injury concerns are big time. It's like, how can we trust this guy when he's not even playing in college? Which is absolutely fair because he came back for a little bit, had to sit for a little bit, came back for a little bit. Now he's sitting for a long time. You know, he hasn't played since January 7th. So you're thinking about it, you're looking at it, and the health and long term durability is like, okay, you have to consider this when you're evaluating him as a prospect. You know, the defense is awesome. If he can play, he will be an awesome defender when he walks into the NBA because he's got so much on that end. Offense is definitely a concern. Not the greatest shooter in the world, like the feel isn't great. Sometimes he can get in the right spots, but it's really only like dunking and dump offs and stuff like that. So injuries are just the thing with Quaidens. Like that's why I can't get high on him. I think he's going to be in my teens because I loved what I saw, but the injuries is it's just going to make it tough for anybody to really draft him. Like I could see him falling late first round because of it. But I feel like somebody will talk themselves into him just because of how athletically dominant he is. The main faller on everybody's list is Nate Omen. I mean, like, we had such high expectations for this guy, and it's just been really rough watching him at Tennessee. Talk about a guy that has been inefficient throughout the year. It's been brutal, absolutely brutal. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. He's averaging 16.3 points, which you're like, "Oh, he's scoring. He's doing all right. 7 rebounds. That's not bad." But when you watch him play, he's never in the play. He's never in the play. He's never being physical. He's never making that impact where you're like, "Oh, who's that guy?" Looking at his past couple games, a 29-point game against Alabama. That's fantastic. Texas A&M, he had a 23-point game. Georgia, 19 points. The thing with him that's making me keep him in the teens and keep him a little higher than some people might that have completely given up on him is like he's having good games against really tough defenses. So like Georgia, for example, still scored 19 points. Alabama, not a great defense, 29 points, able to do what he does. But Texas A&M, good defense. Florida, he had 17 points, played decently. The thing that's just concerning to everybody though is like the percentages. He's 41% from the field, 30% from three. The shooting, which was supposed to be his strong suit, he's a 76% free throw shooter. Like you can't be that at the free throw line. That doesn't show that you're going to be able to transfer to the NBA. So the production has just really lagged behind. And then he just needs a strong finish to the season. If he can finish stronger, then he's going to move back up boards, and the tools are just there. I mean, he's a 6'10", 207 freshman. So you could see his production move up, and that will help him grow. But this has been one of the worst Tennessee teams in a while. They're sitting at 14-6. So it'll be interesting to see, like, if they're a tournament team. Okay, can they pick it up and be like the Tennessee of old? And can Ahmed start playing a lot better? But Ahmed's been pretty disappointing when you're looking at it. Okay, the last faller we're going to talk about is Steinball. And this has mainly just been when the Big Ten season has hit. Like, he's just really, it hasn't been the same. He's still scoring at a high clip. And if you're watching the box score, you're like, man, like, he's still doing a lot. He's averaging 11.2 rebounds a game, 17.5 points. Like, he's there 52.4% from the field, 30% from three. It's like, Jake, what are you talking about here? Um, Defense just isn't really there for him. Like, the fact that he's playing 32 minutes a game and isn't even averaging a block shot, it is concerning. Like, the rim protection is not great. He's struggling to guard post play. He doesn't really have great switchability. It's tough. That stuff is really tough because, yeah, you could be a great offensive player and you could be a great rebounder. That's great. But why didn't Andre Drummond really work? Because all he could do was rebound and score, you know? Um, so that concerns me. Like, it's really gonna depend on who drafts him. He's a high teens guy to 20s guy for me. Like, I'm not really a Steinball guy. I just don't see how he'll fit. I've heard a lot of people talk about him like he's going to be legit when he walks in. If he was legit, then Washington will win more games, man. Like, they just haven't been that great. They're 11-9, and I haven't been very high on what I've seen from him. So those are my risers and fallers throughout the college basketball season so far. All right, that is going to wrap up the show for today. Thank you guys so much for listening, watching, wherever you're at. Before the end of the show, shout out Reagan Smith, Jake's Takes Quarter Zip. Gotta have it. It is awesome. Uh, yeah, I was hyped to do this show today. The draft has been really interesting. We've seen so many prospects. There's so much about this draft that's just so intriguing, college basketball wise, NBA wise, and it's only going to keep growing as the season moves on. We're moving into February. This podcast will come out in February. So I'm really excited to see where everything ends up. Again, I recorded this Thursday, January 29th, so you might not see anything about recent games from the weekend or anything like that. But again, I'm really excited to see how everything rolls, where everybody ends up. If I'm wrong on people, where everything goes. There's so many prospects. I'm not going to get everybody right. So I'm excited to see um, how I can grow with that aspect too. So that's going to wrap up the show for today. Thank you guys so much for listening, watching, wherever you're at. Stay tuned because later this week we will have Giovanni Mosheri on for a Super Bowl preview. I'm super excited. We're supposed to record that Saturday, so hopefully we get that done and it gets out there. So I will be back at you guys next time. Peace.